Hi, everyone, and greetings. It is Wednesday and the 6th day of November, the day after the election. And I don't want to say as was predicted, but as was mentioned at least. Wasn't too sure if the election would be over as of today or not. Officially, not. Speaking of the governor's race, of course, while there is a 5,000 vote margin, of course, replacing our current governor. He has, of course, requested an official recanvass. We'll go through that with some details. I'll go through McGoffin County's vote tallies for you, see how they compared to the state as far as trends are concerned. Found that interesting. We'll, of course, have some more information election-wise. But as many of you well know, tragedy struck several, a couple, actually, well, three local families very early this morning. A young McGoffin County man has died. A young Johnson County man has died. Another McGoffin County man was injured. The investigation continues into that crash that happened on I-40 near Arlington, Tennessee this morning. I spoke with a family member a few moments ago. We'll have more at a later time, but just the details and specifics of what happened as I can share with you in just a few moments. Weather-wise, we'll talk about the cold front tonight. That's going to give us some wet conditions tomorrow. Still talking about upwards of an inch of rain for your Thursday. I have a nighttime low in the teens for you before I wrap up tonight's weather outlook, and I'm not too thrilled to share that with you, but indeed, we will. We'll be glad to share with you in just a few moments the outlook as to what's in tomorrow's edition of the Sagersville Independent. We'll begin our news for tonight right after this. At Sagersville National Bank, they know your house is much more than your home. It's an investment, and for many of us, the biggest we'll ever make. And whether it's for needed repairs and maintenance, or a new addition or renovation to give you some more room and more equity, let Sagersville National Bank deal with all the financial work and worry. Real and real competitive, hometown, homegrown, home improvement loans at Sagersville National.
So what are you planning for Thanksgiving? Welcome to my blog. Make sure to leave a comment. Black Friday sales are going to be huge this year. And
adults and their phones.
it's going to be a low-carb meal.
All right. Hand them over.
Appalachian Wireless always wants you to get the most out of your phones, but we also encourage you to set them down and enjoy time with your loved ones. Happy Thanksgiving from your friends at Appalachian Wireless.
You're going to absolutely fall in love with all the new arrivals at the seasonal shop, from all the autumn colors and styles in ladies' designs, shoes and accessories, Charlie Page, Mud Pie, you know the name brands, to jewelry, Simply Southern, Natural Life, caps, cups, and more, to rooms of home decor. And all you'll need to decorate for the fall and Halloween seasons, plus everything from coffees to candles, but hurry, because everything Christmas is already arriving daily and will be out soon, and fall will be gone before you know it. At Frazier's Prater Drugs Seasonal Shop in downtown Sagersville.
SSI and disability cases are harder to win these days. You need all the help you can get. If the government has turned you down, I will not. Many factors are considered when a claim is being processed, like your age, education, physical, and mental disabling conditions. When it comes time to winning your disability case, you should not face a federal judge alone. You need an attorney who is experienced, determined, hardworking, knowledgeable, and dedicated to helping you win benefits that you deserve. If you need help with your SSI or disability case, call me, Donald Wayne McFarland, and let me go to work for you.
As seemingly has been the case essentially all week this week, we still have several headlines and stories that we're working on that we have had to push to the back burner, so to speak, due to other timely or breaking reports. And that's the case again tonight, and it's for the worst of reasons, as we have heard of the passing of two area men, one from McGoffin, one from Johnson County, both co-workers working for a contracting company that was working for the Transportation Department in Tennessee. There are many local individuals and those in the viewing area who work for this company in this area. And very early this morning, 3 of them were on the job in one specific location, all safety measures being employed. However, 2 died as a result of what appears to be a runaway tractor trailer to some degree. The investigation into that is ongoing, more at a later date. But here is what we know about the double fatality that claimed the lives of 2 local men early this morning in Tennessee on I-40 after a tractor trailer approached a work zone and failed to slow down or try to avoid the collision that killed those 2 men and injured others. The men were Tennessee Department of Transportation contractors who worked for another company, and 2 were declared dead, a Tennessee Highway Patrol trooper and a 3rd contractor, also from here in the viewing area, were injured after this crash very early this morning, sometime between 3 and 4 o'clock on I-40 near Hickory With Road and Highway 385. The 2 contract workers worked for a company called A&A Safety out of Ohio. A spokesperson for that company confirmed that 2 of their employees were killed, and they did confirm later this afternoon that they were 22-year-old Jared Helton of Sagersville and 30-year-old Justin Stafford of Johnson County. A&A Safety also did confirm a 3rd worker that we do know is from McGoffin County was injured and being taken to, early this morning, to a Memphis hospital and kept there for what appears to be serious, but we are told non-life-threatening injuries at this time. As for the trooper, he did suffer serious injuries as well, but was expected to recover from them. The crash happening just before 4 o'clock this morning. It happened in the westbound lane near mile marker 26. That's close to Arlington, Tennessee. The men were putting down reflectors down the middle of I-40 in the westbound lane. All the safety gear and procedures were being followed. Traffic cones were out, emergency flashers were on. The trooper was behind the equipment and vehicles they were driving to serve as a blocker and help improve the safety conditions. The westbound lanes of I-40, though, in Arlington were blocked for several hours, up until about 9:30 earlier today. The work zone itself, a mobile work zone with a lane closure as the men installed the reflectors in the middle of the interstate. Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol told a local Memphis news station, Local 24 News, that the tractor-trailer truck plowed through the work zone, hitting the trooper in his vehicle first and then hitting the men. He said that the vehicle did not slow down or attempt to swerve or turn at any time. Family members of Helton, specifically an aunt that I spoke to earlier today via the telephone just briefly, said law enforcement told them that they believed at the time that that tractor-trailer was a stolen vehicle. As for more details about how the crash happened or anything else, authorities haven't released any other information. Now, also, quoting family members, they have been told that they believe that Helton and Stafford may have been on top of or behind that vehicle they were working in, refueling it, when the crash happened behind them. First into the trooper's vehicle, then into the safety truck, which is also used as a blocking vehicle, I believe, and then their vehicle. As for funeral service arrangements, I've not been able to confirm any for Stafford as of yet. The family says that Jared Helton's body is due to be returned back to McGoffin County, coming home this Friday. Helton was 22 years of age and a 2015 McGoffin County High School graduate. He had been employed for A&A for about 2 years. Justin Stafford of Johnson County, according to his social media, had been employed with A&A since May of this year. More to come, I'm sure, on the stories of these 2 men and, of course, the accident that has so sadly claimed their lives, and funeral service announcements as they are made as well here on the program. Also, a story in tomorrow's edition of the Sagersville Independent, which is still being pinned at this time. With that said, I've got more election news. I've got all the election news we're going to give you tonight coming up in just a few seconds. Right now, while that's getting ready, here's tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau Community Calendar. First up, images and patterns from the mountains. This is a presentation of quilts and sketches done by Eva Howard and Lucille Smith at the McCall Art Gallery. That's in the McGoffin Building over on the Big Sandy Community Technical College campus. They're having an opening reception set for this week. That is Thursday from 3 to 5. As for the exhibit, it's open until November the 28th. Please stop by. McGoffin County Special Olympics invites you to tomorrow evening's community meeting. They're hoping to build on the success of a great meet and competition they had with Carter, Johnson, Floyd, and Pike counties recently, and they're planning on getting together tomorrow night talking about that, planning more events, and hopefully getting some more kids involved with Special Olympics in McGoffin County. It's at the cafeteria of the McGoffin County High School at 7. The annual Veterans Day Appreciation Dinner, or Veterans Appreciation Dinner, held by the Sagersville Masonic Lodge, is coming up this Saturday at 1, and this is for all veterans and active duty military personnel and your families. A wonderful meal, a wonderful bunch of people to spend some time with who would like to just say thank you. And don't forget, TeleWorks has another job fair coming up here in Sagersville in McGoffin County at the Health Department next week. That is Wednesday. They're doing 2 sessions, 9 until noon and 1 until 3. You have to pre-register, though, if you want to come and see about being able to work at home. Seating is limited to 20 people per session. Call 216-6811. That's 606-216-6811 to register for next week's sessions. Again, that's to be held at the McGoffin County Health Department. And lastly, one last reminder, McGoffin County Head Start is now taking applications. If your kid's going to be 3 or 4 years of age by August the 1st, get them a head start by calling 349-3488 and get your announcement heard right here on Your News Today for free. Just tell me so we can tell everyone else. Turning to this Wednesday's funeral service announcements, a reminder of funeral services to be held this Friday, day after tomorrow, in honor of 61-year-old Michael Salyer, the son of Alice Tackett Dutton and the late Warnie Salyer. Besides his mother, he's survived by his wife, Jewel, sons Michael Gregory Salyer, Gregory Allen, and Juan Manuel, and daughter Katrina Mollett. Visitation will start tomorrow evening after 5 and up until Friday's services that begin at 1 o'clock, all from the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Right now, for pennies on the dollar, a huge selection of like-new laptop computers, a fresh stock of video games, the Cadillac of dog tracking and training systems, new hunting rifles, accessories, and ammo. And they always stock, buy, sell, and pawn gold and silver coins and jewelry with a new selection just in at Parkway Gun and Pawn in Sagersville, 349 Pawn. We have finally done it. After years and years of extensive testing, we not only invented the chicken sandwich, we have perfected the chicken sandwich. Come and try it and love it with a big, famous dipped breast strip, pickles and mayonnaise, or however you like it fixed. And if you like, make it a double. Just make your way to Lee's to get it and grab a cookie while you're there. At your Sagersville Lee's Famous Recipe, where even our ice is famous. It can be one of the hardest parts of being a parent. You can beg them, bribe them, hold them down and try to force them, and sometimes you still can't get them to take their medicine. Well, problem solved at Parkway Pharmacy with Flavor X. Let your kids customize their medicine with some of the best flavors that really do taste great, and it's totally free with your child's prescription at Parkway Pharmacy. So stop the suffering, theirs and yours, for free, and get your Flavor X flavored medicines at Parkway Pharmacy in Sagersville. Getting the best deal on the best tires with the best service has never been easier. Just log on to ConleyTire.net, check out the latest rebates, sales, and promotions, pick out the tires you want, and email, call, or come by. For huge savings from the family who's been proudly serving the area for over 32 years. Conley Tire in Staffordsville, 297-2424. From brakes, exhaust, suspension, fluid changes, to expert collision and auto body, to turning your 4x4 or diesel from mild to wild, get real auto maintenance, paint, and repair at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sagersville, 349-8785. Well, I'm glad to report that it was more than a dismal 31% that got out and voted. A whopping 42%, yes, that is sarcasm you hear. Those numbers should be into the 90 percentile across this country. That will never be the case, sadly. Nevertheless, it was better than the estimate, as was thought or predicted by Secretary of State Allison Lundgren Grimes' office, giving 31% of registered voters what she thought was going to be the turnout, closer to 42%. You break it down by the numbers, out of the 3.451 million registered voters, 1.455, 1,455,000 and then some, actually turned out and cast their ballot across the Commonwealth yesterday. The Commonwealth, one of a few states, of course, electing a governor, and this was, of course, one being closely watched by the GOP, the Democrats, and everyone across the nation for a whole lot of reasons and implications. With 42% of voters turning out, Magoffin County, we had, of course, 6 races on the ballot, and as you know, statewide, I'm sure very well by now, 5 of those went to the Republican candidates, mostly, for the most part, incumbents, and of course 1 for the Democrat, and that being the top race in the ballot. Magoffin County actually followed that trend exactly, also favoring Beshear and then Republicans thereafter. While in Johnson County, Matt Bevin carried Johnson County 3,988, almost double, to 2,304 for Beshear, a Republican county. Magoffin County, primarily Democrat, went for Andy Beshear to the tune of about 300 votes or so. 1,629 Magoffin County votes were cast for Matt Bevin, while 1,958 were cast for Andy Beshear. And of course, statewide totals, as we know, show the two still about 5,189 or so votes apart. With, of course, Bevin announcing officially today that he is going to seek a recanvass in the results. His campaign manager issuing a statement saying that the people of Kentucky deserve a fair and honest election. And as the governor did last night, Payne today also cited reports, without any specifics, of voting irregularities, saying that the campaign was exercising the right to ensure that every lawful vote was counted. Bevin, of course, last night following the election results, not conceding the race, and today officially calling for a recanvass after losing by about 5,000 votes. A recount, as I understand, per a statement from Allison Lundgren Grimes' office, is not an option for the offices or races for governor or lieutenant governor in the state of Kentucky. And in the approximate 24 recanvasses requested in statewide races, Grimes says that none of which have resulted in the overturning or changing of the outcome of any election. The rest of the races in Magoffin County, as they did the state of Kentucky, went to the Republican candidate, Michael Adams, receiving 1,878 votes, to Heather French Henry's 1,755 here in Magoffin County. Adams also carrying the state of Kentucky to the tune of about 24,000 votes. Adams, a former elections board member, faced what was considered to be a very well-known candidate in the former Miss Kentucky, Miss America, Heather French Henry, who of course has been very visible for the past several years on veterans committees and issues. While there was history made in the race for Kentucky's Attorney General, Daniel Cameron has now become the first ever African American voted to a statewide office on his own in the history of the state of Kentucky. He is also said to be the first African American to serve as Attorney General and the first Republican that's actually been voted to the position of Kentucky's Attorney General in nearly 75 years. And Cameron carried Magoffin County as well on the Republican ticket to the tune of 23 votes, but nevertheless receiving 1,846 to Greg Stumbo's 1,823. The state easily called very early as Cameron won by a margin of almost 200,000 votes. Of course, Cameron defeated the former Attorney General of the Commonwealth, who served from 2003 to 2007. Stumbo also served in the General Assembly as a representative for many, many years and the House Speaker for 8 years, beginning in 2009. Turning to the Commonwealth's Auditor of Public Accounts, Mike Harmon, the Republican, here in Magoffin County, received 1,930 votes. The Democratic nominee, Sherry Donahue, 1,560 votes. Harmon easily carrying the state of Kentucky as well, 779,000 to 574,000 for Donahue. Harmon telling us before the election here at Mortimer Media that he was running on the same practices which he had held over the past nearly 4 years, which was to simply follow the data in regards to all state and county audits. And 2 other Republican incumbents also carried Magoffin County and the Commonwealth. For State Treasurer, Allison Ball of Prestonsburg carried Magoffin County 2,057 to Michael Bowman's 1,565. Ball an easy victor over Bowman in the entire state to the tune of about, or just a little more than 300,000 Kentucky votes. With Ryan Quarles, the current and future Commissioner of Agriculture for the state of Kentucky, seeking and receiving re-election last night. In Magoffin County, receiving an even 2,000 votes to Robert Conway's 1,580. Statewide, Quarles easily carrying Kentucky 820,000, nearly 821, to Conway's nearly 545,000. And while the Republican and still governor of Kentucky has not conceded the race as of yet and awaits an official recanvass, the deadline, I think, to request one November the 14th, if I'm not mistaken, Governor-elect Andy Beshear is referring to himself just as that, standing alongside Lieutenant Governor-elect Jacqueline Coleman today. He did issue a public statement saying that they will begin immediately focusing on several things, including the budget, which will be due in January, focusing on the areas of health care, infrastructure, and public education. And he says also, quote, changing the tone we've heard from Frankfort over the last 4 years. Coming up in just a few moments, what I can tell you about what's coming out in tomorrow's edition of the Sagersville Independent. Right now, what I can tell you about a cold front that's going to give us a rather wet one tomorrow. Another one further on down the line that's going to give us the teens for nighttime lows for the first time this season. As for tonight, increasing clouds, and that's already been a trend for the past couple of hours. A light wind at about 43, pretty mild degrees when you compare the rest of your forecast on your screen. Oh, and it goes much colder and deeper than that. But tomorrow for your Thursday, Sagersville Independent Day, mind you, 50 and 25. We'll go to 50. We'll cut it in half by tomorrow night. We'll see clouds and showers. This cold front still looks to give us, I think, up to an inch of rain across the board. Not everyone's going to see that. Some might, however, but up to an inch, I think, in totality, starting for tomorrow. Mainly after 11 and mainly up until about 8 or 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. The rains tomorrow night, from 11 tomorrow morning to about 8 tomorrow night. And from thereafter, it should be a slow changeover and clearing, leaving us with some mostly sunny skies for your Friday. Showers should be gone, and so will the 50s, even though they were barely hanging on to 50 on your Thursday. I think we'll fall to about 39 degrees for your Friday, 23 for nighttime lows, still well into the 20s will fall under partly cloudy skies. How's the weekend shaping up, you ask? Not too bad. And just wait till I get to Tuesday. That's a whole nother note. But for the weekend, mostly sunny, and 49 degrees, close to 50. 33 will be right at or just a tick above freezing, mostly cloudy. So definitely a dry first half to your weekend. As for the second half into your Sunday, even warmer still. We'll bump it up to the tune of about 10 degrees almost. Mostly sunny, pushing 58 degrees on your Sunday. We'll see clouds increase Sunday night. Temperatures hold on to the upper 30s at 38. And then those clouds Sunday night could be a bit of a prelude of some shower chances for your Veterans Day Monday. 20% mainly after 11 o'clock or so Veterans Day morning, with 49 degrees as we fall back temperature-wise again. Shower chances will increase as Monday goes on to about a 40% chance by the evening hours. Notice what temperatures do after that front comes to town. 49 and 25 on your Veterans Day. Clouds and some showers throughout much of the morning and afternoon. Tuesday, daytime highs hit a Balmy, 36 degrees. Nighttime lows down to the teens for the first time this season. 16 degrees right now is where we're expected to fall to on Tuesday night. And with that, if there's any lingering precipitation, could be rain, could be a little snowflake or two. Wednesday, 36 and 20 and a little more sunshine. The Walnut Festival. We told you prior to it happening about it here on the program and in the newspaper, and tomorrow, well, we'll see just what of a good of a success it was. Indeed it was. We have fiscal court meeting coverage, the McGoffin County High School History Club. We have a McGoffin County connection to an infamous feud that they have unearthed. To be honest, I haven't read that as of yet. I'm going to just wait till tomorrow and read it with you. Complete election results. A former nursing home resident gives back after some rehab. In our historical page, we'll go back to 1997. The making of a singing superstar. Leave that at that. Hope you get a paper tomorrow as soon as you can, and hope to see you back here tomorrow night. Thank you for watching.